welcome back to Funtastic Friday here on News Talk 93 FM. Yes, it's yours truly, Mr. Fresh Concept, filling in for Kimmie. Inside the segment, Talk the Ting with Kim. Yeah, welcome back. Inside our discussion segment this week, we've been talking to you about the topic, recovering from heartbreak. I mean, as much as we like to pretend that, we got it covered and we don't need no help and all of these things, a lot of us have gone through some form of heartbreak. Some of us are still going through it and we're in denial. I'm telling you. So we here at Funtastic Friday has coined up this topic to provide you with a way to get some closure, a way to move on. Yeah, and get ready for the summer. So a lot of people think the summer is, we're going to party and have fun. Me no business about my ex. And you're, even after the summer done, you're still a think about your ex and you're still not move on. You're still a call the person for 99,000 times. Right? If you really want to be with a person, pressuring them 99,000 times, I don't think that's a healthy way to go about it. If you think that you're destined to be together, well, that doesn't mean that you should fight the person so till that they are blocking you and everything and avoiding. I mean, I think that's the kind of love you want. Alright? So, be true to yourself. And let's jump into our discussion topic. Let's continue with the second half here inside Funtastic Friday, the segment titled Talk the Ting with Kim. Alright, so we're looking at recovering from heartbreak. We looked at the bad practices that we often fall guilty to. Bad practices including suppressing our emotions, jumping into a rebound relationship, constantly stalking the ex on social media or via phone, calling or messaging them. Yeah, we don't recommend those things. Blaming yourself excessively, isolating yourself, engaging in destructive behavior. You're driving recklessly, you're drinking excessively, you're doing all sorts of things to try and so-called clear your mind, but it's causing more harm than health. You know what I'm saying? It might be a little temporary pleasure, but after that you're still probably deeper in pain than you were before. And one of the final things we looked at was replaying what went on or what went wrong over and over. You're stuck in that cycle. Why me do that? And every day you're back on the same roundabout. And we don't recommend these practices. These are what we call bad practices or toxic behavior. It might be a bit tricky to get out of, but we do have some good practices or positive actions to take after a breakup that should more be able to help you get through and get over and get on with a peaceful life. Alright, so persons on the live, you can feel free to jump in. We had some comments on the live earlier. Let me take a quick look at those. Big up to everybody that still got it locked in. Big up to, I saw somebody earlier that followed us, something I think Bad Breed. Big up to you as well. But if you're still on the live, drop a comment. Remember to send us a message so you can collect your prize. Alright, as the new follower for us today. Alright. So let me just go ahead and quickly jump over to the comment section. Alright, so Fiona says one of the things that you can do as well, bad practice, is talk bad of the other person. That's what I'm saying. Like, even now you have persons who break up with somebody 5 years later and still talk bad about them. That means they haven't gotten over the person, that they're still hung up on the person. Why are you spreading bad news about this person? You're not together 5 years later and you're still talking bad about them. Something wrong, something right. When last you talk to so and so, boy, about 5 years now, but make the so move on. I mean, I don't mean to laugh, but I mean, people, you must be able to see that can't be healthy. All right. And Fiona says as well, people sometimes give up on their health care or their self-care, which is true. You stop beard, you stop shave your face, you start walk like mad person, and you're totally fine. You want everybody to see you and say, hey, well, go on, you all right? Just so you can start talking about the situation or the person. Move on from that, man. Yeah. Playing the field to hurt others. Yes, that's what we talk about when we're talking about sleeping around and jump into a rebound relationship. Substance abuse, A&C mentions that as well. And Fiona says would have played out all the time, but it's how you bounce back. Yeah, because if you sit down and think of should have, would have, could have, you're not done, you know. And the worst part about it, sitting down and thinking about what you could and should and would have done, it doesn't affect the situation that's already happened. You need to make a next step, which is saying, what can I do from here? And it has to be one of these positive things that we're going to look at right now. All right, so we're still focusing on the topic, recovering from heartbreak. And these are some positive practices that will help you to get through. Number one. So on the flip side, they say suppressing your emotions. On our side, the positive side, we say allow yourself time to grieve. Yes, cry if you want to. Journal, talk it out. Acknowledging the pain is a key part of healing. Stop with me, stop with me, stop with me, stop with me. All right, now what we're talking about, allowing yourself to grieve, what does that look like? We're talking about giving yourself space to simply feel what you're feeling. As I said, cry, talk to a friend, roll around in your bed. As I said, we're not talking about destructive behavior. Yeah? Talking about a little moment of grief or you know, just allowing yourself to feel the feels. All right? It validates your emotions and it helps you to it helps you to release the built up pain. So getting it out there, yeah, this is a part of the step. Now you can start journaling. You can start expressing your anger, probably join a little exercise class, you know, workout class. Express your sadness or confusion, talk to a friend. This is more helpful rather than suppressing your feelings. All right, so that's point number one off the bat. Ensure that you are doing this if you have recently encountered a breakup or you are going through heartbreak. All right, let's jump to number two on our list. Fiona, it's Gold Gem, talking up a storm. Let's see what they're saying. It's Gold Gem says practice positive talk, seek help if necessary, and we're all about that as well. Set boundaries and focus on yourself now, and I recommend that as well. We're going to add that to the point as if It's Gold Gem borrowed the book from Fiona. Focus on yourself, Fiona says, and create space to grow. They're both working together today. And Fiona says, be patient with yourself, give yourself grace, and trust me, people. One good example of how you can make that little change from, you know, that feeling of sadness is to learn that in life, I would say things happen for a reason. Sometimes you might think it's a bad reason, but if it's a bad reason, that means better will come. So there's still something to look forward to. All right. Now, let's jump to point number two, one of the ways in which we have a positive way to move on after a breakup. Limit or cut off contact with ex if necessary. And I do recommend this part. As I said, you can't be with your ex and you're broken up and you're heartbroken about it, and you're still talking to your ex every day. Hi, good morning, how you doing, my beautiful? The person said I'm done with you, and they might answer, you're dry, you know. Yeah, wow, where you are? And you walking up yourself, my sweetest sweetie pie, what do you want for me to do to you today? Left me alone. And you're gonna start the same cycle again tomorrow. Come on, do yourself a favor and just cut down, limit yourself, or just put a break to the communication, because if it's gonna be something that's affecting you negatively, I don't recommend practicing that. All right. Now, persons out there, they might be doing it and not realizing what they're doing, right? So what we recommend is, if you need to delete the number, unfollow them, or if they are the one that is constantly, you know, messaging you, you don't have to communicate all the time. You can say, hey, I can get some space, I'm going through a rough time now, if you can give me a week or so, let me go through and, you know, process this. Yeah. And this is very important because it gives your mind and your heart time to heal and to detach and to reset emotionally. As I said, some people are still hung up on their ex, calling their ex, hey, well, I'm going to see you, we need to hang out. No, we don't really need to hang out. We don't really need to hang out. You know, we're going to go two separate paths. If you both agree to keep the friendship and you figure out a way that it won't be toxic, I understand that that's fine. But if you realize that it's really a toxic communication practice, we recommend deleting and trying to get yourself space peace of mind. Yeah. So if you need to block their stories on Instagram so you're not constantly triggered by their updates, yes, I would recommend that. Don't put yourself in harm's way. We want you to heal and to get back to, a level of normalcy where you can be ready to take on another relationship. Don't just jump from one to the next, because that's not helpful. All right. Number 3. We're talking about good practices here. We're talking about positive ways in which you can recover from heartbreak. And number 3 is seek support from trusted people. Yes, my friends. Talk to your friends, your mentors, therapists. These people can provide help and provide clarity. Yeah? So, try your best to reach out to your friends. If you're not able to find a respectful family member that's able to rock with you on a level, we would recommend going to a therapist that you can talk openly. Yeah? Because some things just sit on your chest and you need to get it off, and you're there bottled up and tense, and this, if you have not resolved it carefully, you'll end up bringing it into your next relationship, and we don't want that. We don't want that. All right? So talk to your mentor, friend, someone who has possibly gone through a similar situation or a similar breakup, and ask them for advice or encouragement. I would recommend you asking somebody who has not been in a relationship for relationship advice. So you would definitely know who to choose. Don't just pick any random person to give you advice on a specific topic. It's good to find person who have been through, so they can give you their real experience and real solution. Not what people hear a road. We don't know that. I like the heart emojis for that one. All right. So seek support from trusted people. The external support offers you perspective, and it comforts you, and it will get you through. So we move on to the point number 4, and we're talking about focus on self-care. Fiona and It's Gold Gem pointed out this earlier. Focus on self-care. Yeah, the flip side to not focusing on self-care. But you need to do this, because what happens is eating well, exercising, resting, and grooming can improve your mood and your self-worth. So the people that out there after a breakup, you're in a rip up clothes, you're there under the bed, food all over you, your house is a mess, you're wallowing in self-pity and pain and bawling down the place. We understand that you're going through a rough time. We're not saying don't grieve, but you don't have to grieve in the worst way so that everybody have to ask you, you alright, you alright? Yeah, just a little tear or a little sad face can help with that. You don't need to look like a mad person or a crazy person or a homeless person, as they would put it, right? You need to understand that prioritizing your health, physical, mental, or emotional health, these self-care, it helps to build resilience. It helps to improve your mood, and it helps to remind you of your worth. And even if you know, say you can dress up and look good, and you're looking in the mirror and say, watch it, I look good, eh? Look at me, I'm nice. That will help you to understand that, there's still hope for you. Nobody think it's the end of the road. All right, so focus on self-care. We look to number 5. Engage in new or forgotten passions. What are we talking about here? Hobbies, personal goals. Remind yourself that life continues with or without your ex. Yes, a lot of people still them can't go to work, and they can't do nothing. Them just stuck on the ex, and that is not what we want. There is a way forward. So, if you had a hobby that you used to practice, whether now or before your ex or probably during by yourself, yes, take up your hobbies, your interests, your goals. Shift your focus from what you've lost and put your focus to what still excites you, what still makes you happy. So pick up the paintbrush, start writing your little novel, take a little solo trip to a new destination or somewhere familiar for you, not for you and your ex, somewhere familiar for you, so you can reconnect with yourself, find back yourself, find back that joy, that spark, that happiness, and that will bring you closer to closure. So let me do a quick run through. We looked at allowing yourself to grieve. We looked at limiting or cutting off your contact with your ex. We look at seeking support from trusted people. We look at focusing on self-care. You know, nice up yourself. Keep yourself looking good same way. Life isn't ended because you've broken up. There's still hope. Somebody might still, hi, how you doing? You look nice. All right. Focus on self-care. Engage in new or forgotten passions. And number 6 on our list is reflect on the lesson learned. Fiona mentioned this earlier. So think critically about what the relationship has taught you. Yeah, you must have learned something. You must have found a way to improve yourself from your relationships, right? When you do this, it actually turns your pain into wisdom, making future relationships more healthier. Yeah. I think ANC says self-actualization. Yeah, that's what we're talking about, people. All right. So, from the relationship, you take away the positive points. You might be able to realize that you've ignored red flags in the early stages and decided to trust your instincts from then on and move forward. All right. So, learn from the past relationship, learn the mistakes you've made, and try to do right next time to give yourself a better shot at your relationship. All right, and people, number 7 on our list, the final point we'll be looking at as the positive or good practice after a heartbreaking situation is practice patience and self-compassion. What does this look like? What are we talking about? Practicing patience and self-compassion. Now, healing is not just linear. It's not a straight line thing that constantly continues. Sometimes there's a little up, you might have a little fall back, and then you're back up again. But be kind to yourself, even on the hard days. Find a way to see yourself through. Be gentle with yourself, man. When emotions resurface unexpectedly, don't spiral back into the first step. Find where you are along this route here and get back on track. All right? So, this allows you to accept that healing isn't a one straight line thing, and it will help to reduce your guilt and frustration. Yeah, people make mistakes too. Not just you, or if somebody did you wrong, think of it the same way. People make mistakes, so not just hold them up guilty and hold them up forever, because they'll move on with their life. So I recommend that you do too. Yeah. So it's okay to miss your ex. We're not saying no, mix them. These are feelings, they will be felt, but don't prolong them. Don't live in them that moment. All right. So it's okay to miss them today. It doesn't mean you're not healing. All right. It's a part of the step. You might have a little, rough patch there, but you get on up and you walk forward. So recovering from heartbreak isn't about pretending you're unaffected and you're good to go, or you're rushing into moving on. Today you break up, tomorrow you're back in another relationship. That's not safe. All right. So it's about choosing healthy, sustainable practices that will help you to grow through what you have gone through. Avoiding what keeps you stuck. Lean into what helps you to evolve. And remember, healing is a journey, it's not a destination. So you'll come out stronger, wiser, and more in tune with what you truly deserve. So these are our few points here inside Funtastic Friday on News Talk 93 FM, as we look at good practices that promote healing, bad practices that keep you stuck, and the topic of discussion is recovering from heartbreak. Good practices versus bad practices. Alright people, it's just about 5 minutes before the break. I want to thank you for keeping us tuned in. I want to say big up to all our guests on the show today. Big up to the wonderful Maroon Queen. Big up to Dr. Kieran Thomas and the team out there at Health Renew Medical Center. And big up to the lyrical boss himself, Narco Boss. People, we're going to jump into our final trivia segment. I got one question for you. I got two questions for you. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. We're going to give away credit prizes Congrats to ANC, winner of a movie pass for 2 to Carib 5. Be sure to message us so you can collect your prize. My question is, name one bad practice when it comes to recovering from heartbreak, and name the matching good practice. So you give a bad practice and you give me a good practice that matches that bad practice. So, you know, I'll give you an example. No, I'm not giving an example. Drop your answers on the Instagram live at Funtastic 93FM, or drop your comments via WhatsApp at 876-792-3530. Fantastic Friday, no people, keeping it loud. This week I should have set up the TikTok live. Didn't get a chance to do so. I'm gonna see if I can get it set up today. So persons on TikTok, they're saying, why you not come over TikTok, make we join? We're gonna jump over on TikTok, people. Look out for our giveaways over the weekend and into the week, because TikTok live next week, people. Ready up, ready up, ready up. All right, I see some comments coming in on Instagram live as well. Big up to the WhatsApp line, people. Then big up to Flex and the crew. Sean says, red flag, red flag. What's a red flag? What's a red flag? What are you talking about? You have to give me the full answer. This topic is really fun. He says infidelity. That wasn't, well, you're not in a relationship anymore, so I wouldn't say infidelity, Sean. But Sean dropping the answers, trying to get themselves some credit prize. So tell us one bad practice and tell us the matching good practice. All right, jumping over to the Instagram live messages. Big up to the team out there. New Start 93 FM large up on the self. All right, so we have some comments here. Fiona says, self-pity, get out of the pity. Fiona, we not like that little 1-2 step there. Self-pity, get out of the pity. Fiona says, do something adventurous. Okay, well, what is the opposite of that? What's the bad part? Because that's not like the good part. ANC says, suppressing your emotions and versus give yourself grace. ANC, that doesn't match. I'm not going to tell you which one matches with which one, but suppressing your emotions doesn't match with give yourself grace. That needs fix. Fiona says, lean on others. What's the match for that one? What's the match for that one? Lean on others sound like a positive. So what's the bad one for that one? ANC says, isolation versus engaging with loved ones. You find one, ANC. Credit prize for you. Credit prize for you. ANC, 2 credit prizes this week. Topping the charts. Big up to ANC Essential. Big up to It's Gold Gem movie pass winner. Big up to Fiona dropping some good answers as well. We have 1 minute to go, so I'm going to give you the answers, people. Oh, Fiona drop one. Let me see if Fiona finds a match. Let me see if Fiona finds a match. All right, people, just 1 minute to go. Fantastic Friday, New Start 93 FM. We're loud, you know. I like it. All right. So Fiona says, lean on others versus isolation. There you have it. That is it. But you kind of say that after ANC, you know, may I pray, you know, but good answer though. All right. So isolation is the bad practice. We recommend, you know, letting others provide support. You know, seek support from friends and loved ones. If they reach out to you, just accept where possible so you can find somebody to talk to, relate with. That's it for today's show. Thank you very much for listening. You've been wonderful people on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, comment, drop a comment, people. Fantastic Friday. Have a fantastic weekend. Stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.